Good morning, friends, family, everyone. This is Erica with Aurora Heart Healing, and today I'm doing things a little bit different. Today I am going to do a collective healing, which I'm kind of excited slash nervous slash um, unsure of how this is going to go because I was just very much so guided and led to doing this morning. Um, I am currently feeling a lot of grief myself and sadness, and I am really directing this as whatever it is that's coming up is probably part of this process. But this collective healing is going to be for anyone and everyone that watches this that needs to hear this, that needs to know how to move forward. And I hope that this helps whoever watches this, whoever resonates with this collective healing, because I think as a society, as individuals, as the grand scheme of things, we all just want to be loved. We all just want to find ourselves, our truest meaning, our purpose, our life depends on it. Because when we don't know what we need within ourselves, we project that pain out to others. And I personally have been going through a lot of understanding of who I am, what it is that I need, what it is that I didn't see before, or things that I did see within myself and others that I needed to acknowledge. And I hope that this helps anyone and everyone. So, what I'm going to do is my energy is already super high right now. I think that over the last few weeks, it's been very difficult to navigate all of the shifts and changes. I'm going to start off with I'm going to find it intuitively what exactly this is the inner work of relationships. Um, I got this because I want to know how I can show up better in the world because self, I'm not perfect. And I want to be sure to show up for others in the best way for not just them, but for myself, because I don't want to hurt people. And we'll see what comes up. Okay. So traumas that create wounds of insecurity. And that's the first thing that is showing up right now. And I'm going to read what needs to be said. Think about your upbringing and family dynamics. Were there specific instances or patterns related to insecurity that you experienced as a child? How might these experiences influence behavior in your current relationships? Is there anything else we need to know about that? Okay, so I'm gonna write this down because I want to put all of this information in the description so that you all have a little bit of a chance to reflect. All of my sessions, I always put the emotions, any messages down into them, any messages that I can remember down into them, because I think it really helps us integrate the changes that we will be experiencing through the collective healing that we are experiencing right now. So, traumas that create wounds of insecurity. Um, think about your upbringing and family dynamics. Were there specific instances or patterns related to insecurity that you experienced As a child, how might these experiences influence your behavior in your current relationships? Is there anything else from the book that we need to know? We passed it. So I'm just asking if there's anything else that we need to know from this book. And it's going to help us a little bit more with this reading. Arrogance or need to be right. Real life triggers. So we'll read this. In a casual conversation, one partner playfully teases the other about a harmless mistake. The partner with an overcompensating wound of insecurity can't brush it off or laugh along. Instead, they become argumentative and insisting on their correctness. Their tone turns serious, their words sharp as they delve into lengthy explanations to prove their point. Feeling the light-heartedness drain away, the teasing partner withdraws, sensing the growing tension over something trivial. The inability to let go of even the smallest perceived challenge to their intelligence or correctness creates an uncomfortable atmosphere where jokes and lightheartedness are replaced with defensiveness and unnecessary seriousness. Okay, is there anything else we need to know about the book? Okay, so I'm going to write this down as well to see where this goes, because I never really know where these sessions lead. I just know that it all is connected to whatever it is that the collective consciousness is needing to heal. Now, I've been doing collective readings for over a year now, and just healing the energy of us as a whole is so important, because from what I see, all of us have wounds, and in this society right now, we're being taught to go to the next. Just give up. I don't need that. I don't want that. But in reality, there are certain things that we as human beings, we're all hurting inside, and hurt people. When we can meet each other and understand where our hurts are, it can build a beautiful relationship between others and mutual understanding. This is popping up to me. So I met this person over the last week, and he and I had a conversation, and he was asking me how I was doing with the whole separation and everything. And I told him I'm okay. I'm working through it, and I'm allowing myself to feel my feelings, and I am grieving when I need to, crying when I need to. And he says that's the way to go, because when we don't, then it just comes up in another way. It'll hurt us later on, or it'll come up as an implosion or explosion. And I was really grateful that he had said that, because I felt like I was very validated in the way that I was feeling about certain things. So we continue our conversation, and I tell him that I got hit on and it upset me, and that I know I'm attractive, but that I felt upset about that, that I was being, my attractiveness was being acknowledged by someone other than who I wanted it to be. And he said, "Yeah, you're really attractive." And I said, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." And he was like, "Does it hurt your feelings right now?" And I said, "No, not so much right now." And he said, I can understand where you're coming from, because I dated someone that was going through a divorce, and she played with my heart. She hurt me so bad, and I was just her toy. And I could tell that it was because she hadn't healed from the things that she had gone through, that's why she did what she did to me, because she just hadn't processed or gone through what she felt. And I said, I can understand that when we carry the baggage of other relationships into a new relationship, how detrimental it can be, how hurtful, and how hard it is to continue to move forward because, we're carrying baggage from another relationship. And we sat there and there was a moment of acknowledgement between the two of us because I find this person attractive as well. And I said, you know, I'm gonna take my time and really heal. And I want to take accountability for what I have done. And I want to understand myself in a deeper way of where I hurt others, where I showed up in an inauthentic way or in a way that was judgmental or egocentric, where I was right and the other person was wrong, instead of looking at it as, I understand where you're coming from and I want to meet you halfway and not be so rigid. So in that conversation, we just kind of looked at each other and acknowledged we're both wounded people. And then they said, I think about this person still. And that's how I know that I'm not ready to move into another relationship, because I still think about this person. And if I still think about this person and emotions come up and feelings come up, then I know that I might hurt someone else from what I'm experiencing. And I just really respected that, because I think so many different relationships start off with, well, you can fix what the last one didn't, or you can show up in a way that this person didn't for me, instead of looking at it as, I'm hurting or I am healed from this past thing and I don't want to bring this baggage, this hurt into this new relationship. I want to fully become whole within myself before I move to someone else. And that was a really impactful moment for me, at least. So this message might be helpful to someone somewhere, somehow. All right. I'm going to look at the emotions that we need to look at. Bitterness. The emotion is bitterness. And this is collective. So a feeling that is hard to bear or is grievous, a bitter sorrow feeling, a feeling causing pain, something experienced at a great cost, a bitter lesson, a feeling of resentment, being cynical, a harsh, disagreeable, acrid taste. So cynicism, I see that a lot in the world. Is there anything specific that we need to know about this? Resentments and being cynical is the number one thing that we want to know about bitterness. Is bitterness cause resentment and feeling cynical? Do we need to know anything else about this? Is there something I'm getting that we need to know something about the inner work of relationships book? So I am going to go through this. This page. This page. Attributes. Here. Here. Okay. So attributes of accountability in the book, it says dedication. I'm getting that dedication is the thing that we want to look at. Committing wholeheartedly to tasks, responsibilities, and relationships. Is there anything else that we need to know? So this is all about taking accountability. And what I'm getting is that this is connected to bitterness and resentment and feeling cynical. Respectfulness, validating and valuing feelings, rights, and experiences. And 280. It's kind of funny because with the elections right now, I think that this is something that so many people are experiencing. Resentment, cynicism, like this is never going to work. All of the parties suck. And all of these things are just terrible. And I think that it's really interesting how this is showing up. Is there anything else in the book that we need to know? Is it, did we pass it? Is it through here? Resilience. Okay, so attributes to motivation is something that the collective needs to know about. That whoever is listening to this, we need to know what the attributes of motivation are. And resilience, the capacity to quickly recover from difficulties and adapt well to change and adversity. Okay, so resilience. I think I'm getting that we need to learn how to build more resilience within relationships, within not so much ourselves, but within understanding of each other as a human race, as beings, all of us in our humanness. Determination, a firmness of purpose and resolve to keep going despite challenges or obstacles. Okay, this is going to be a long session review. All right, now let's look. Is there any emotions that we need to know? Is there anything else in the book that we need to know? Is there more to this? There is more to this. Okay, is this in the session reference page? Okay. All of this information is information that I have detailed and researched and come up with through time, through understanding, through studies. Verbal denial is the energy that I'm finding. It's a defense structure. Verbal denial. So a defense structure is how do we defend ourselves? And I'll give you a couple of examples. There's the withdrawal, which we kind of like just move into ourselves. We can have these glazed over looks and we don't really engage anymore. There's a porcupine energy, which is really funny to me, but it's spiky. People can be very painful to touch. It's like touching a hot stove. You try to like communicate with them and they're just very spiny. The other day I was at the dentist's office and a woman with her child was there and he had braces and the sweet lady came up and she said, "Did we remove the wires?" And the lady goes, "We removed the wires. I've said it 3 times. I said it on the phone. I said it here. Yes, we've removed the wires for the 3rd time now." And I could just feel her prickliness bubble up. And I was like, oh my gosh. she was really kind about the way that she said that. And you could have probably talked to 3 different people that did not know the same information. So porcupine, this one is verbal denial. And this one is in order to keep status quo, the person stays active verbally so that the situation feels to sustain some feeling of being alive. So this verbal, it depletes the energy and it creates a severe blockage because we're not really telling the truth. We're not really saying what we feel, not so much what we think this time. I'm navigating through all of what I'm getting in my messages. It's more about the way that we feel. We've learned how to say something, but not genuinely feel it. It's a disconnection between our words and our feelings. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to know about this? Okay, so now there's some emotions coming up with that. Definition of emotions. Failure, the emotion of failure. Okay, the note here is what you're supposed to be hearing. The well-adjusted person is better able to admit his faults than the poorly adjusted individual who is more apt to feeling threatened by undesirable traits such as failure. The person that has to reject or distort such perceptions in order to maintain favorable self-picture. So not looking at things as they truly are, more feeling threatened by traits, thinking that that's a failure, rejecting or distorting perceptions to maintain a favorable self-image. And that's huge because I think a lot of people decide, okay, I don't like this hard aspect of myself. So either they distort it and they just say, oh, well, these people are unacceptable or whatever the case may be. But that really does bring into what we're going through as a collective today and now, in that sense of people being so scared to fail that they're not really telling their truth, that they're causing bitterness and resentments and cynicism. There's very much so a lack of respectfulness between each other. And the motivation to continue to work through things or the motivation to work on ourselves has been depleted. The resilience, the emotional resilience, and the determination of like, I'm going to set this goal and I'm going to make it. Is there more emotions to this? There are more emotions. Have we passed it? Is it here, here, here? I'm talking a lot more than I usually do during my sessions. I actually like to just ask the questions in my head and think about everything, but I want you all to be engaged. The next emotion is hopelessness. Hopelessness is devoid of hope, having no expectation of good, despairing, having no remedy or cure, no prospect of change or improvement, feeling desperate, which I think I run into so much hopelessness in the world constantly, but choosing to say there is hope because even through everything that's going on, I always want to maintain a sense of hope and wisdom and understanding and presence that only hope can bring because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And especially if we have faith that everything's going to be okay, that God is going to take care of us, that our creators are here for our best interest, then we can maintain that sense of hope. Hope actually comes from emotional resilience as well. So it's really interesting how these things are all connecting right now. Is there any other emotions that we need to know about? There are some more emotions, so let's check that out. Here, 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 here. The emotion of numb, numb. Incapable of feeling emotions, deprived of sensation, unaware, enfabled or incapable of motion or movement, insensible, deadened. Just as shock protects the body from physical pain, numbness can protect us against emotional pain. Okay. Is there anything else we need to know about numb? We do have a hidden emotion, which is a hidden emotion is something that we tend to hide, that we veer away from, that we do not want to accept. Pride. Pride is the hidden emotion that is underlying to numb, feeling numb. So a high esteem of oneself, that's not resonating. Vanity is empty pride, an excessive desire to be noticed, praised, or approved. So in this, pride is the vanity, because you can be proud in what you do good, but you can also be so proud that you are inflexible of how you might be messing up or making mistakes, or our humanness is showing up. Is there more emotions? Is it hidden? This is a shadow emotion. Shadow emotions orchestrate so much of our lives because it is a way that we can hide from our pains. It's almost like the manipulator emotion. So if we feel very prideful, then they'll put that emotion will kind of orchestrate things to make us feel prideful, or like, oh yeah, this is validating for me. That's the reason why I'm feeling this way. So just know that a shadow emotion is our manipulator. It makes us do stupid shit. Okay. Honestly, it makes us do stupid things. Self-abuse is the shadow emotion that we're looking at today. Shadow self-abuse. Whoa, you guys. I hope that this is resonating with a lot of you, because I think that this is something that is totally resonating throughout the collective. Abuse, usually such as an element of anger towards oneself or another person or incident. The individual directs the anger into oneself, which often includes feelings of guilt, shame, dishonor, or poor self-image. Self-abuse may help atone for his sins, real or imagined. Illnesses can be forms of self-punishment. I don't deserve to be healed. I want to make sure that I am giving you guys all of the information. So I'm just taking notes through everything so that we can really reflect on this reading, this session. Is there anything else that we need to know? Is there another shadow emotion? So there's another shadow emotion. Have we passed it? Shame, the painful feeling of having done something dishonorable, improper, or foolish. Disgrace, shame, in not ignominy. I don't know what that means, but humiliation, cause of regret, disappointment, and can lead to feelings of guilt. So these shadow emotions are orchestrating life to continuously have this self-abuse and this emotion of shame. Is there any other emotions that we need to look at? No. Is there anything else that we're needing to look at this time? And I'm getting that we need to look at the inner work of relationships right now. Is it here? Is it in this hub? Is it in this hub? Is it here? Here. Okay, so supportive things to do for ourselves as this collective healing is create a safe and non-judgmental space for yourself and others to express their desires and dreams, no matter how big and small. Reinforce that their wants and needs are valid and deserving of pursuit. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel stuff a lot in my heart. A lot of times when we're doing these types of readings, I'm just getting a lot of energy flowing through my body right now because I'm seeing how this doesn't just resonate throughout the whole world, but how it's resonating within my life right now today, and how these patterns have actually played out throughout my life. So, I want you to lean into that discomfort, any pain, anything that's coming up for you right now. Lean into it. Take a nice deep breath into it, loving, accepting it, just really understanding where this comes from. Is there more that we need to know? Is it under supportive things to do? Have I passed it? Is it through here? Is it here? Here? Okay. Becoming undercompensating. When we undercompensate for our inner child wounds of violation, we tend to internalize our hurt and disrespect others by not asserting our needs and failing to communicate our own expectations for treatment. This often manifests as coldness, bitterness, resentment, and passive-aggressive behavior, reflecting unexpressed desires and unmet needs. Blech, sorry, guys. There's a lot going on right now. Unlike the overcompensating approach that seeks to enforce their expectations through dominance, we suppress our true expectations while still holding on to them, leading to internal conflict and indirect expressions of dissatisfaction. I didn't get that this was for divine masculine, but man, I feel like this is definitely a lot of um energy of that like numbness, that not wanting to talk about the way that we feel, not truly expressing, creating passive aggressive behaviors, unexpressive, um unexpressed desires are really coming through on this one. Overcompensating, suppression of what we want. Okay, is there anything else that we need to know? Have we passed it in the book? Is it here? Is it in this section? Is it in this section? Ooh, is there any other emotions? Is it in here? It says self-awareness triggers. Okay, self-awareness triggers. A trigger is something that sets off a strong emotional reaction or behavior in response to certain words, actions, or situations that trigger our nervous system into fight or flight. This is most commonly in relation to past trauma that a current event is reminiscent of, thus triggering our subconscious to think the painful experience is happening again. It is like a button that gets pushed, causing us to react in a way that might be disproportionate to the present moment because our nervous system feels like it is back in the original trauma. Rather than reacting to our autopilot, our triggers on autopilot, becoming cognizant of our triggers open up a transformative space, a powerful gap in our awareness where we can pause and reflect. In this space of consciousness, beliefs and behaviors unraveling and tangled threads of our conditioning. Oh, I missed it. In this space of consciousness, conscious presence, we have the opportunity to explore the depths of our emotions, beliefs, and behaviors, unraveling the tangled threads of our conditioning. It is within this reflective pause that we can find liberation from automatic responses and discover the freedom to respond with intention and wisdom. This moment of conscious choice becomes a catalyst for profound growth, healing, and the cultivation of authentic, harmonious relationships. Okay, is there anything else that we need to know about this? Okay, perfect. Is there anything else that we need to know about this healing? Is this collective healing complete? Okay, so what I do right now is to clear this energy from ourselves. We're going to swipe 20 times, finding the intention that this is not just healing ourselves, but this is actually healing into the space and time of the whole collective universe. That this message shall reach people that are in pain, that are hurting, that feel that cynicism, bitterness, hopelessness is easier than hope, love, wisdom, connection with one another. Allow us to feel that energy flow through our whole bodies, our whole minds, our whole beings, and that we may flow in and out with each other in a more harmonious, loving, and respectful way. That we all as a collective understand each other, love each other, and really build and cultivate relationship with each other in a more conscious, loving, and accepting way. Shake it off if you need to. Is there any residual energy, any emotional resonances? Is there anything else we need to know? Have we completed this reading? Okay. And I can already tell I'm going to do a couple of these today because there is a lot of energy surging through me right now. So I am totally going to YouTube bomb today, but that's okay. I hope this was helpful. I hope that any of you that are experiencing some of these energies just know that you're not the only one, that there are so many billions of people on this planet, and we all just want to heal and love each other and feel connected, not just to ourselves, but to others as well. And it seems like there's a lot of reasons why we're not doing this. And just know that by you accepting this healing, reflecting on this healing, you are one piece that is rippling out into the universe, and you are helping build that love, that connection, that understanding, and that unity that our whole entire world needs so much right now. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please comment. Let me know what you felt. Let me know if you got any tingles, any sensations. Some people feel a lot of things. Some people don't feel anything at all. But I hope that each and every one of you received the messages that you needed today. Much love.